Okay, Mr. Meade, just, I'm going to hand you, just so we can get the, how far away when you were at sales and estates. States Exhibit 27.
You gonna show council?
It's just, the States Exhibit number 27. Recognize what that is?
It's a Google map.
It's a Google map showing estates.
Estates, Case Road, Cell Road, and Estates Place, streets, and indicated with little rectangles indicating homes.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate representation of the map of that area?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Now, yesterday you had indicated when you started sale an estate. You remember that?
Yeah, I had stated I stopped in the area of the intersection, yes.
Were you in the intersection?
I don't know exactly where. I just know I was in that area.
Okay, well, how many houses from sale and estate are you, if you were in the intersection to get to the, what Casey, 3996?
Which one's 3996 on here? If you could tell me.
The corner case.
Which one is that? There's like these two things. Which one is that?
Right.
Okay. There we go.
You see the intersection of sale and estates place?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And if you're traveling, the residence we're talking about, 3996, is on the corner of sale and case, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So to see the house there?
That is the house then?
Well, that's on the corner of sales and estate.
Okay.
I mean,
I've never seen this map before. That's why I'm asking. So if these are structures, I'm just asking which one is the estate's place. I don't know.
okay.
3996. Okay.
Okay. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 houses from the intersection. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, you indicated Casey was on the threshold of the house when you shot him. Is that right?
Yes, he was in threshold. Yes, sir.
And Casey was not facing you when you shot him. Isn't that correct?
No, I said his back was to me, and then he turned toward me.
Okay.
That's when I shot.
Well, did you shoot him when he was facing you or he turned towards you?
I shot whenever I saw the gun being pointed back toward me.
And all your shots struck him, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, and that was 6, right? Okay, and they all went through the storm door, right?
I don't know. I suppose.
You were aiming, right?
Yes.
So to hit him, you'd have to shoot through the storm door, unless there's some other way.
Yes.
Okay. And I believe you said that the storm door had been resting on his back.
Yes, that's how it appeared.
And that was the time when you shot.
I shot while it was resting on his back. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know where the door was specifically whenever I shot.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at the door. I was looking at the gun pointed at me, sir.
Now, you'd indicated on direct examination that you had flipped the safety on your select fire weapon. You'd flipped the safety to fully automatic. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in your previous statement that you made, that we've been discussing, okay, that you made about 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, in that statement, you stated you flipped the firing pin, or the firing mode, and shot at the suspect, and you stated, I stopped firing when the suspect collapsed inside the doorway. You remember that?
Yes.
And then you went on to say, I believe I fired 5 to 6 rounds. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Now, nowhere in this statement did you indicate that it was in fully automatic. Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true.
So that's a pretty important fact that, because you were trying to put all the important facts in there that should have been contained in here, correct?
That portion of it is important?
Yeah,
The
that it's
firing
fully
mode?
automatic.
I don't,
Fired in full automatic mode.
they took my rifle. They knew what modes I had on my rifle, sir.
No, I'm talking about at the time you fired. You're now telling everybody it was full automatic.
Yes, it wasn't full automatic.
And you never stated that in your statement.
No, I did not.
Instead, you said that I fired 5 to 6 rounds and that you stopped firing when the suspect collapsed.
Yes.
Now, you know the difference between, obviously, fully automatic and semi-automatic.
Yes.
Okay. And in semi-automatic, you have to pull the trigger to shoot 6 times. You'd have to pull it six times.
That's correct.
And you're very efficient in that as well, correct?
In firing?
In semi-automatic mode.
Yes, I think I am.
Okay. Now, when you shot Casey, were you able to see? I think you said that he collapsed as soon as he was shot. Is that right?
That's how it appeared, yes.
And when he collapsed from where you were standing, could you see him?
I couldn't see him clearly through the door.
Okay. And I think you said that he was in the little area just inside the door. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. He wasn't in the kitchen fully?
Fully, no, he was not.
Okay. And can you tell me, what was his position when you entered the home?
When I entered the home, his position was face down. His hands, I couldn't see his hands because his arms were underneath his body.
So that little area right when you come in, you go straight, you'd go down the basement, correct?
Yes.
You go to the left, you go into the living room.
Yes.
And then you've got this little area here, and you'd have to go to the right.
Right.
To go into the kitchen. Is he in this area?
He would have been in that area with his head toward the kitchen.
And he was laying face down.
Yes.
Now, you stated that you were the first one in the home, right?
I don't know that I was. It was myself and Rosser was going in. I asked him to cover, and he was covering the left as I stepped in.
Okay. And Rosser was there and witnessed when you rolled Casey over.
I believe he did, yes.
And in this statement, okay, you stated that the gun that was found was under his torso.
Yeah.
And you never mentioned anything about being under his right arm. Isn't that true?
Yeah, because his arms were actually underneath his body, and when I stepped over him, I rolled him over by grabbing the upper portion of his arm around his shoulder. So it was right here underneath that right side of his torso.
Well, that's really important information.
I'm going to overrule it.
That's really important information, isn't it?
important information as to where I found the gun, yes.
Yeah, and this, what you're telling us today is very important, and should have been included in here, shouldn't it?
It was included. It was underneath his torso.
You never mentioned anything about his hands being underneath him.
I actually said I was giving him commands to show me his hands.
You didn't say anything about his hands being underneath him.
I indicated that I was asking him or commanding him to show me his hands.
I understand, but my question is, you didn't say anything in this statement about his hands being underneath him, correct?
That's correct.
And you never said anything in this statement about the gun being under his right arm, you said torso, but you
Yes.
never mentioned anything about the right arm.
I didn't mention that, no.
Then I believe you stated on direct that you guys, or somebody, was it you that drug him into the kitchen, the body?
That pulled him in? I don't believe that I pulled him in, no. When I turned him over, I rolled him over to clear the doorway area. He was already partly into the, like his head was already partly into the kitchen area. He was laying at an angle.
So he was laying at the same angle that he was. Okay, and I guess maybe I misunderstood your testimony. You didn't pull him forward or backward.
No, as I pulled him, as I rolled him over, it was pulling his body. And it was clearing the immediate entryway.
So you basically just flipped the body over.
Yes. I never touched him after that.
Now, when you rolled him over, I think then you went and said, later on you stated, you did not know whether he was dead. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't make that call.
So you then told Rosser to go to the living room area or towards the kitchen area to secure the house?
Not to go, just to cover it. He was still in the doorway.
And Yorkowitz was covering what?
He was covering the right, I believe, in the kitchen area.
And you, at that time, not knowing whether Casey was alive or dead, did what?
I believe he was airing, Yorkowitz was airing on the radio, and I asked him if he aired the address of where it was, the actual numbers. And then I ended up stepping right back out the side door and going up front and getting the address.
So you didn't begin chest compressions, did you?
Me? No, I did not.
Okay. But you were there, you have two of the other officers stationed, but you didn't think about starting life-saving procedures for Casey.
No, while the first thing that we did was start trying to make contact with people in the house. So, as I stated, I'd made at least verbal confirmation with a woman and a male, trying to figure out what was going on in the situation. In the meantime, we're trying to get everybody, at least whoever's inside the house, to a safe place. We still have to secure the scene before we do anything. By the time I stepped out was to go get the address to make sure that everybody who's responding knows the exact address of where to go. So no, life-saving measures can't start until we know we have a safe and secure scene.
Well, you had two officers there that had the kitchen secured.
We were in a we're in a small area that they did not leave those entryways while I saw them. Sure. So we have an entire house that still has to be secured. The place is not secure. As we've stated before, we can't get actual trained medics on the scene. They will not come on the scene until that place is secure. So priority number one for us is to get it secure.
You knew you'd aired it out, you knew backup was coming, correct?
What's your question?
You aired it out, you knew there were other officers that were going to come to the scene.
When I went back up front, yes, I aired the information, yes.
You aired it before you even got there and shot Casey.
No, I aired the actual address is what I'm telling you. I went back up front and I aired the address.
Okay, now I want to back up to just pick up a couple things at the intersection of Ferris and Carl, okay?
You may. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Meade, during your direct testimony, you mentioned your work as a pastor. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
In that testimony, at the end, you said, I love people, okay, and you love people. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, there was a reference to the conference that you went to, that you spoke at in 2018, the revival. Remember that?
It's a retreat.
Retreat, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir. It's okay.
And where you gave that sermon.
Yes, sir.
And on direct examination, you asked, it was brought out, that you made a statement and you described your duties on tactical SWAT and for the U.S. Marshal's Office. I believe what you were asked was, did you make the statement, I hunt people, correct?
Yes, I was.
However, was more to that than just you hunting people. But isn't it true you express your personal feelings, quote, "It's a great job," and quote, "I love it." Didn't you state that as well?
Yes.
And also during this sermon, you expressed personal views as to use of force. Isn't that right?
No, I expressed views from my training.
Okay. And so let me ask you if you stated this, okay, from the same sermon. Okay. Quote, "I've worked at this job for 14 years. And you're talking about your personal background here in front of the people you were giving the sermon to, correct?
I was telling him how long I worked the job.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, this is part of the quote, I'll start over. Quote, "I've worked at this job for 14 years,
Yes.
and you know I ain't never been hit clean in the face one time. That's a fact. And it ain't because I'm so good. You know why? Because I learned long ago I got to throw the first punch. And I learned long ago why I'm justified in throwing the first punch." Then you went on to say, and don't look up here like, "Oh, police brutality. The people I hit, you wish you could hit." You stated that, didn't you?
Yes. In context, with like tongue-in-cheek humor, and it drew the reaction I expected it to, which was they knew I was making the mood light, sir.
So you thought that was funny.
Yes, it was basically again to connect with the audience. Remember, I'm speaking to a group of men, and I had just made reference of working on a fugitive task force that does manhunts. And of course, in my line of work, the people we go after are violent people, rapists and violent offenses that we go after. So I made that tongue-in-cheek reference, sir. Yes, in context, it was understood. The 300 plus men all took it that way, or so that's how it appeared.
Not all the people you go out and you're on the street are violent people, are they?
Oh, pretty much anyone that we actually adopt or that the U.S. Marshals adopt, there has to be a threshold of certain violence and certain levels of danger. That's the reason why they use the U.S. Marshals Task Force to go after them. They're either parole violators because they're past convictions and things like that.
So you have parole violators, anybody that's got a warrant out for them, and the task force is basically, you go through and it gets assigned to you, you take it to the task force for the task force to work.
Yeah, it's not just any warrant though. It has to meet a certain threshold.
But you're also a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy as well?
I am.
Yeah, and you interact with the public, right?
Of course.
Okay. And in fact, in this case, okay, you were pursuing someone that didn't have a warrant.
I'm sorry. In the case here? No. Yeah.
Pursuing someone that didn't have a warrant.
Yes, correct.
You're trying to apprehend him.
Yeah, this is different. This is an actual active pursuit of something I witnessed myself.
Now, you were shown defendant's exhibit. I think it was D. You had the exhibit of R. Approach.
You may.
Recognize this.
Thanks. Yeah, we saw that picture earlier.
And I guess when what Meade published. I guess I'm a little perplexed as to why this is in here, but that's your truck with the lights on, is that right?
Yes, to my left, that's it.
Okay. And were those lights activated when you approached this location? I'm not sure why this is in here.
Your Honor,
But
with the commentary?
I'm going to sustain as to that. Going to ask the questions.
So were those lights activated when you approached the intersection?
What intersection?
Or, I mean, when you approached and parked there? When you going down
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even remember turning them on. But they're on. So when that happened, I'm not sure, sir.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as already exhibit 8G. Okay. What was that? 8G. Okay, let's stop there. Do you recognize this? The 3996 Statesway.
Yes.
And is that your truck? At the corner there?
Yes, it looks like it is.
And do you see any lights on at this point?
On this photo? No, I do not.
And that's where you would have parked?
It appears that way.
Go ahead and play a little further. Oh, stop. Who's the fellow with the all cap on? And it's got the rifle.
I can't tell.
Okay, let's back it up a little bit.
Okay. All right. We got a medic on
Yeah,
scene.
that's me.
You
Yep.
heard your voice.
Yep.
Okay. Now, at this point in time, medics hadn't arrived. Is that right?
Hold on. You're going to need to move. The jurors can't see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now let's set the stage here. So this is very early on, isn't it?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, nobody had been in the home, but you, Rosser, Yorkowitz.
I don't know about the. I have no idea.
And it looks like Barnhart. Is that Barnhart's truck there?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. But we'll back it up a little bit. Marked cruisers have not arrived, it doesn't look like, or they're just now arriving.
I don't see
Okay,
any.
well, let's watch it, and then you can tell us.
Okay. All right. We got a medic on scene, but
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Don't send them in yet.
okay. Tell them to stay. Tell them to.
You were getting in the truck. Did you see you getting in the truck?
I don't know what I was doing in the truck. I have no idea.
You don't know what you were doing.
No, sir. I don't even remember any of this.
All right. Let's play it a little farther.
come out this way. Folks, come out. Hey, come out this way. We'll send him to you. Go back this way.
Do you know what you were doing in the truck now after watching that?
No. After watching, I still can't see me in this, I guess. The way it's moving around.
Well, let's back it up. We're going to play it back through again. And could I use, can I borrow your laser pointer, please? You have the laser point?
It's up on the stand. Oh, it's right here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, why don't you circle?
Okay.
That is me there.
Now it's circle where your truck is. All right. Let's just play it.
That way we can get medics in.
All right. We got a medic on scene, but they're...
Yeah, I know, that's what I said. Don't send them in yet.
Okay. Tell them to stay. Tell them to stay.
A little farther.
Out this way. Folks, come out. Hey, come out this way. We'll send him to you.
Now. Okay. Now, your rear lights in your truck start blinking. That'd be an indication that you turned on the lights.
If I did, I don't remember.
Well, would that, let's back up. Can you tell from that photo or from the video whether or not your lights were activated?
No, at the beginning of the video, it didn't appear as my lights were on. I never saw me get inside my truck. It looked like I was trying to get into the truck. If I did, I don't even remember it.
Okay, you agreed they weren't on before you got in the truck.
No, I agree. I didn't see the lights flashing at that time on this video.
And so, how do you activate the lights?
The lights are activated on a button on the console, like right beside the steering wheel, to the right of it.
So, but you do agree that the lights are on after you got in and got out?
On this video, yes, I agree.
Go back this way. Ma'am, come out. Start going out.
You just can't play video.
So you also notice in the video that the house is being cleared. You see the people coming out?
They're coming out, yes.
Okay. So this is at the time that the house is being cleared. Is that correct?
Yeah, as they're being exited out of the house.
Just one moment. I think I'm.
You may.
Okay. So, Mr. Meade, you indicated that the first thing that you do is make sure that you're clearing the house. Is that right?
That the house is secure? Yeah, that the scene is secure. That's our goal.
And it looks like that's what's taking place because you see the first people coming out. So what you did, okay, was leave, go out, and put your lights on.
No, actually, I was communicating with different ones on the outside according to the video. Nothing showed there that I turned the lights on. I have no idea how they got on.
And where you were coming from would have been the side door where the kitchen and where Casey had entered.
Yeah, and on the video, I heard me saying something about medics, and they were responding to me saying, we have medics on the scene, and I'm telling them something to the effect of trying to get the scene secure.
But your thought was, not at that point, not dealing with security of the scene, clearing the house, but you left to go put your lights on in your truck, didn't you?
I don't remember ever doing that.
Well, the video shows it. Do you remember it now?
No.
Well, Mr. Meade, you certainly remembered at the intersection.
Ask the question.
You certainly remember at the intersection, after watching the video, your memory got better. It didn't get better here?
I just told you what I saw in the video was me talking and trying to communicate with the officers on the outside. I approached the side of the truck. I never saw me in the truck. So I don't know what I was doing there. I don't even remember that.
Well, that's your truck and those are your lights, correct?
Sustained.
I don't have anything further, thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, may I proceed?
May?
Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
I want to start where the prosecutor left off, okay?
Yes.
When I asked you on direct if you knew if you turned your lights on or off when you were pursuing Casey Goodson, what was your answer?
I didn't know.
You didn't know, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell the truth about that?
Yes.
As you sit here today, do you know if you turned your lights and sirens on at any time other than the video?
No.
Okay. Watching the video, it's obvious the lights weren't on and they came on, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever say in your statement that, yes, I turned on lights and sirens?
No.
Why?
'Cause I don't remember ever doing it.
Let's go with the statement. Mr. Shore asked you repeatedly about the statement. Let's talk about fully automatic versus semi-automatic, okay?
Yes, sir.
You said, I believe I fired 5 or 6 rounds. Mr. Shore didn't read this. I believe I fired all my shots in less than 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Did you say that in your statement?
Yes, I did.
In a semi-automatic, you have to pull the trigger 5 or 6 times, correct?
Yes.
So pulling a fully automatic once may give out 5 or 6 shots, correct?
Fully automatic would, yes.
Did you pull the trigger once?
I did.
Okay. So now that makes sense that you believe you fired 5 or 6 shots.
Overruled.
That is consistent with your statement, correct?
It is.
In your statement, you said that when you turned the body over, that the gun was under his torso, correct?
Yes,
Was his hand also under his torso?
it was.
If a hand is here, is that where the torso is, the right hand?
Yeah, that's exactly how I explained it.
Basis? Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir, that is exactly how I tried to explain it to him.
So if something's under the torso, okay, and the hand's under there, and that's where you saw the gun when you turned it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Were you counting houses when you were at Sales and State in that area, sir?
Oh.
What were you looking at, sir?
I was looking at the vehicle that I knew that the suspect was in, and then, of course, my attention went immediately to him getting out of the vehicle and realizing he had a gun in his hand still.
What else did he have in his hand?
He had a plastic bag.
Did you put that he had a plastic bag in your statement, Mr. Meade?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and that was before the trial, correct?
Yes,
That was 2 or 3 weeks after this. You had talked to no one about that, correct?
correct.
You had no evidence or anything of that nature, correct?
No, of course not.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you were consistent about that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Objection again.
You want to approach?
May I proceed once
May.
Jill is ready? Thank you very much. In your sermon at the retreat, who threw the first punch in David versus Goliath?
David.
Is that what you were trying to explain with the men at that retreat?
Sir, it's exactly what I explained.
What do you mean by that, Jason?
I explained it as best as I could, that he threw the first punch based off of indicators, and explaining you don't have to wait to be harmed to defend yourself.
And who were you talking to them to defend yourself against who?
The devil.
Through your scriptures.
Yes, sir.
In your experience in law training, when someone is pointing a gun, waving a gun, and running away from law enforcement, are they creating exigent circumstances?
Of course, yes.
Could they be trying to escape?
Yes.
Could they be trying to go into a barricade situation?
Yes.
Could they be trying to go into a home invasion?
Yes.
Could they be trying to harm someone in there?
Yes.
Based on your training, you're trained to expect the unexpected?
Yes.
Do you try to anticipate the unexpected?
Yes.
Do you start your training with, oh geez, I think the person could live here, so I'm gonna wait and let him get inside and then knock on the door?
Sir, everything I do, my actions are based on the actions as I'm assessing them.
And is that based on your training?
All based on my training.
Let's go back to your statement, okay? In your statement, you said that a car passed northbound at the intersection of Carl and Sales, correct? Or Carl and Ferris?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And Mr. Schroyer tried to play a video and said it didn't go past, correct?
He did try, yes.
Did you correct him and show that a car did go northbound?
Yeah, I think it surprised him. I did.
So the video was consistent with what you put in your statement?
Yes, it was.
Overruled. In your statement, you indicated that once you saw the gun waving and then you saw it pointed at you, you did a U-turn, correct?
Yes,
Could you see a U-turn in that video, sir?
clearly.
Made by you?
Yes,
In your statement, you said that you stopped to tell Ross or something. Did you see your car pause in that video to tell Ross or something?
I did see it.
In your statement, you said you aired what you saw at the time, correct?
Yes,
Did you hear Deputy Younglist testify?
yes, he answered.
Did people respond based on what you aired?
Yes,
So your statement is consistent with other people's testimony in the courtroom.
yes,
We've already talked about the bag. In your statement, you said that you gave commands, verbal commands, correct?
yes,
Drop the weapon.
Yes.
Show me your hands.
yes,
You heard Mrs. Standiford testify, correct?
I did.
Is what she testified corroboration that you gave commands?
Yes,
Basis?
Maybe we approach.
Sure.
Mr. Meade, we left off with Ms. Standiford said she heard commands and then shots, correct?
yes,
In your statement, you said that you gave commands before you fired, correct?
yes, sir.
When you were leaving the Barber warrant, was your intent to go back to So Fast and have lunch?
Yes,
Did that intent change when you saw the gun being waved and pointed at you?
yes, it did.
Did you reassess at that time?
Yes,
When you saw the person get out of the vehicle and saw the gun in his hand, correct?
yes,
Was your intent to shoot him right there?
no,
When he ran with the gun, did you reassess and did your intent change?
yes,
When you saw the person in the doorway and you were giving commands. Was your intent to shoot him at that point?
No,
When you saw the gun come back at you, what was your intent, Jason?
to not die, to protect myself. And
Is that
defend
why you fired the weapon?
Yes, sir.
May I approach the witness stand of defense, Exhibit T? May I publish, Your Honor? In your statement, you said you were in this area, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are there any trees between there and the porch?
No.
Are there any trees between the start of this photograph? Oh, I'm sorry. The start of this photograph, are there any trees anywhere in that angle for cover?
No, sir.
Were you trying to take cover then?
No.
Were you trying to get him to comply?
Yes.
If he dropped the gun, what would you have done?
Then I would have called him back to me.
Thank you, Jason.
Hey, recross.
Just one moment.
So, Mr. Meade, in your statement, you said as the suspect pulled open the storm door, I yelled, U.S. Marshal, you said, show me your hands. You didn't say drop the gun, did you?
At the time, no.
And that's in your statement. You only said, show me your hands.
Until I said drop the gun. That's in my statement also.
Are you through, Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
May I, Your Honor?
No.
Just that last point.
There's no such thing as redirect. All right, Mr. Meade, you can step down. You have any further witnesses?
We do, Your Honor.
Yes. Why don't we, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a mid-morning break. Do not discuss this case among yourselves. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence. It is your duty not to form or express an opinion on the case until it is finally submitted to you. Probably about 15 minutes.